everybody, welcome back to the Essential Owl. Erin here to make another cold process soap. Today we are making number 5 of 10 that I am filming, 12 overall for a custom order. And we're using a new fragrance oil again today. Y'all, pray for me that this goes well. The first 3 I had really good luck with. They behaved, they stayed very fluid, and they were very easy to swirl. They came out really nice. The 4th one acted up a lot. It got really thick really fast. So I'm hoping that a majority of them will be like those first 3, because that's just, I don't really need to go into explanation as to why. The soap looks better when it behaves well. So to start off, we are going to be using this fragrance oil right here. This is Awaken from Nurture Soap. This is a Lush dupe of Avobath. And Avobath? Yeah, Avobath. And with this one, there is no acceleration or discoloration. There is no vanillin in this, or vanillin. I guess I'll pronounce it vanillin. I keep switching it up. I don't really know why. But this smells very, very, very nice. I pick up a lot of lemon notes, and it's very refreshing. I think it will be a great warm weather sort of soap. I will put the fragrance notes up on the screen so you can take a look at those as always. And you might be able to see back here, I have my other 3 batches of base oils going on back here. And I have made a double batch of lye water yet again, so I'm going to have to measure out my lye water. And I just made this earlier today. It's finally down to a room temperature, and I don't really have a whole lot of lye lint, so I don't think I'm going to strain it this time. And for colors, we are going to be using the Yellow Vibrance Mica Powder. I have actually stepped away from using this one so much just because I've had bad luck with it morphing into a more orangey yellow than what is in the jar. And I was not very happy with that because it was completely changing the look to the soap, in my opinion. So instead, I had been using the Lemon Drop Crystal Mica, which is a much more bright, vibrant yellow than the Yellow Vibrance, in my opinion. You can see the difference there. Maybe I should take the lids off just so that I can compare them. And I apologize for those of you that don't like this portion of the video where I get a little bit chatty, but so there you can see the difference. I know that the lighting is a little bit strange, but even if I switch them, you can see how much darker this one is than the Lemon Drop. So when I want a truly, truly yellow, I stick to this Lemon Drop mica. But for this one, I won't mind if it does morph into a little bit of a more orangey yellow, because I just want it to sort of coincide with that citrus note that I'm picking up in the fragrance oil. And there's also, sorry, I'm concentrating on stirring. This is titanium dioxide mixed into just a little bit of water. I am going to add this to the entirety of the base oils and then color a small portion of it with the Yellow Vibrance to get a light yellow portion of the soap. And I have a very, very, very small container for the yellow portion because I want it to be mostly white with a little bit of yellow. I don't really know why. That's just how it's coming to me in my head, if that makes sense. So without further ado, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Let's jump right into the making of this soap. All right, so that is all the mixing that I'm going to do. I think my camera might have moved while I was doing this because it definitely looks like it's in a different position than it was when I started. So if it did indeed move, I apologize. That darn tripod is just, I don't know, it's giving me fits lately. All right, so as you can see, this is a creamy color. It's definitely not white. I'm not terribly worried about it. Just in my experience, when I color my bases with titanium dioxide, as long as I have used enough, and I do believe that I did, it will end up more white after it has sat and saponified and started to cure. I don't know if there's something about that process that just brightens it up or what, but I'm not terribly worried. Even if it doesn't turn completely white or even more white, I'm not that worried about it. But this yellow that we got is very, very pretty, in my opinion. It's a very light, smooth, pastel-y yellow, and it's very, very pretty. So what I'm doing now, I'm just scraping the sides and the bottom of this container to try to make sure that all of my mica is incorporated. I don't see any on the sides that is not. So I'm going to call that good. So, and it's still very liquidy. It's not watery, which is fine, but it's definitely not as liquidy as some of the others that I have made, but it's definitely not the thickest out of the bunch either. So what I'm gonna do now is try to find a place to set down my spatula. I guess it's just gonna go directly onto the table because why not? And I'm going to do a drop swirl with this. I'm gonna go in with quite a bit of our, for the sake of keeping them separated, I'm just gonna call this our white. Then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the yellow, which is a little bit thicker, and that's fine. Just swirl that all up and down. Come back in with the white. And go back in with another couple of short passes of this yellow. I'll go ahead and scrape some more out because I don't need to save a whole lot for the top. And now we'll top off with our white. I'm going to pour up high to try to get it to go further down into the soap. And now I'm going to gently bounce my spatula on the top of the soap to kind of coax it into all of the corners and sort of level it out a little bit. Since it's so liquidy, I don't need to bang it down because it's liquidy enough that I don't feel like it's necessary to do that. But what I'm gonna do now is scrape out some of the rest of this yellow and drip it on top. For some reason, this soap reminds me of butter. It looks very much like butter at this point. Not necessarily a bad thing, just an observation. And as I said, that creamy color, that creamy white color, very well may brighten up some. It usually does. Now, I may be putting my foot in my mouth there, but it does usually brighten up for me after it has sat for a little bit. So we'll just have to see. Even if it doesn't, I think it's fine. Sometimes it's hard to get your ratio of titanium dioxide just right. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, actually I'll turn it this way. I apologize for my whiny dog. He's in there being a big baby because he's not allowed in here when I'm making soap. But I'm just going to swirl down the middle like that. And I'm going to jiggle this just a little bit to resettle it. And I think I do want to go in with a little bit of some hollow glitter. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Just for fun. Again, because this is a summer spring soap and it very much smells like it. And I just like to sort of, I don't know, spruce the top up a little. So, before I continue, I am going to scrape out my containers into a small silicone mold, and then I will bring you all in for a close-up. Okay, so this is the finished soap, and it seems to me like that cream color is already starting to lighten up a little bit. So I do have confidence that it is going to brighten up some. Even if it doesn't, I'm actually really happy with this because the fragrance is very uplifting and refreshing, and it just smells like happy to me. And yellow is a very happy, sunny, summery, warm color. So I feel like it goes really well together. And as I mentioned, I will go back over, or as I've mentioned in the past, I will go back over this soap with the flash on so that you all can get a glimpse of that glitter, because this lighting just does not do it justice. But I'm very happy with it. I think it turned out very smooth. That swirl is really, really nice. And yeah, I've already sprayed the top with rubbing alcohol to anchor that glitter to the soap so that it doesn't come off when you touch it. And that's all that I have for this portion of the video. I have to prepare for our next soap. I will see you all for the cut. Alright, we are back the next day to cut the Awaken soap that we made last night. Please ignore the mess. I have been cutting many soaps today, so it's just there's a lot going on, and it creates a little bit of a mess when you have all that going on all at once. So just bear with me. I would appreciate it. And I wanted to show everyone how this one turned out, because I was a little bit, I don't want to say skeptical, because I don't want it to sound like I'm going back on what I said. It did what I expected it to. This soap did lighten up. It's not quite as yellow. It's much more white than it was. And you can see there that yellow morphed into that orange, except where it gelled. It did turn a brighter yellow. So I'm okay with it. I really like how the top turned out. I think it's so fun and shimmery and pretty. And I'm excited to see how the middle turned out. I'm hoping that the swirl inside is more yellow than orange, but we'll just have to see. So let's go on and cut our first bar. And that cut like butter. Oh man. Okay. So there's one side, and then there's the other. So not a whole lot can be seen. So I don't really know if this is going to be that much of an interesting video or not. A little bit disappointed in this one. So there's one side. You can barely see some swirls in here, but even to the naked eye, I'm having difficulty picking them up. So maybe I went a little bit too light or something. So there's one side. Sorry, I'll show you the top. Okay, you guys, this is the final bar. As you can see, the swirl isn't really doing much for this soap. It's incredibly difficult to see. It may continue to lighten up, then again it may not. I guess I just need to be a little bit more heavy-handed with titanium dioxide and my micas and things like that, because it seems like the colors were a lot more differentiated in the raw batter, and they both just lightened up to be almost exactly the same shade. So yeah, but it smells great. I really like this fragrance oil. I do recommend it. It behaved wonderfully. It smells wonderful, and most importantly, it is still going to clean you. So that's all that I have for this video. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so that you will never miss one of my uploads. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.